Hey everybody, davidskarica, stock chart of the day. So today we're gonna do a quick year interview. Sorry I didn't have one Friday. What I did on Friday is, with Bahamas is still a very Christian kind of country. So basically, a lot of stuff. By the way, if you hear something in the background, that is, I'll close my sliding door. That's just, I got Premier League on here. And yeah, so so Bahamas is still a very Christian country, and everything tends to close on Sunday. And then this year we've got New Year's Day on Monday. So I was kind of like, Saturday is gonna be a bad day to be shopping. Everyone's gonna be out. So some people still obviously have to work. As you probably know, people tend to do stuff last second. So yeah, because actually, the shops were not that overly busy. Obviously it's a small island. We don't have a huge amount of people here, but I hate lines. I don't do lines. Like I always tell people, living in Eleuthera, I'm spoiled that way. I can go into maybe we don't have these super fancy convenience stores or grocery markets or whatever. But the one thing that we do have is I can go into these places and go in, no lineup, get my stuff, and go out. So sometimes this time of year, the holidays, you will see huge lineups, and I'm just like, I just turn right around. I'm kind of spoiled that way. So what I'm going to talk about though today, so I'm actually sipping on some champagne here in the middle of the day. I decided to do a barbecue today, because it's really a crappy day, not that nice to go down to the beach. And with tomorrow being football, obviously football, it's nice to say, oh, I want to barbecue while the football game's on, but I want to watch the games. So that's the problem, right? So I think I'll barbecue today. And what I kind of do is sometimes, I'll undercook some of the food, and then you just put it in the fridge, or, you leave it out, or you put it in the fridge. And obviously after it cools off, because you don't put warm food in the fridge, it can go sour that way. But yeah, and then basically what I'll do is after I do that, the next day I'll just put it in the oven or the air fryer in a really low heat, or even back on the grill, just to finish it off, and so it takes quicker. So anyhow, so I'm gonna do some chicken breasts, some chicken quarters, and some steaks. And I might make our lobster roll too. I made a really good. Yeah, I'm boring you with my cooking, but I love cooking. It's like kind of my stress reliever. Dealing with the markets all the time can be very stressful. So I just like to put on some music or whatever, football highlights or whatever, or documentaries. I like a lot of travel vlogs as well, and just put those on and start cooking. So I made kind of a Bahamian version, I would say, or a Caribbean version. I don't even know what Cajun boil is. So that's kind of like so instead of using shrimp and the little Cajun crawfish, I use the local Bahamian lobster. I used stone crab instead of like king crab, and I still use sausage. The sausage, I think, was the best part of it, believe it or not. The Polish sausage and the Cajun sausage I had in there. It's just the way it cooks, in that broth. It was just super juicy, and then corn as well. So and anyhow, I got some mussels, and I have the broth still left over, and I'm gonna cook some mussels in that too. Maybe add some white wine or something into it. There you go, chef. Like I said, at one point I'll just I gotta have to get a good cam for vlogging. I think because I do love cooking so much, I'll maybe do some videos, and then you edit them together and can talk about investing. So what we're going to talk about today in terms of investing is, it's a year in review. The market's had a great year, driven by kind of the Magnificent Seven stocks. I've talked about them in the past. And this really market, and I've been saying this since the summer. In the summer, I was kind of like, okay, I got bullish, and then I was like, I got cautious in August. I said in August, we could definitely have one of these fall declines here. So basically, I'm going to show you something in a second too, just to kind of get a different view here, because I'm just kind of always pointing south here. So anyhow, so I was kind of like, it's gonna go up here, up top. So this is kind of cool. Man, these trees have grown so much. I'm always worried that means like we're gonna get that thing. But if you can see the water there in the distance, so that's not the same ocean. I am digressing here. That's the Atlantic, and that's the Atlantic, and that's the Caribbean. So that's basically because the island's very thin, and we're surrounded by it. So I watch the sunrises over here, and then more like in the north. West, the sun sets, but in the southeast the sun tends to rise, and then in the north, in the south, it tends to set over there. And then the other day we had like a full moon, and it was absolutely like incredible, right? The full moon was amazing. It was just incredible, and you could see it reflecting off the ocean and stuff. So, and to get back to that, so then when we just had a kind of a correction into the fall, I even said, I was saying all along, look, if this thing doesn't tank by the end of October, November, December is never usually the times for big declines or drawdowns in the market. So get out of your shorts, and we got out of our shorts, and we kind of like. The turnaround plays I've done okay. They're up a little bit. I wish with that kind of rally we had, they would have gone up more. I'm still going to hold them because and this gets into what I'm talking about. I think this is like one of these little bull markets like we had in the 70s. I'm going to it's very similar to 1966. In that 66, the Fed raised rates. It was a midterm year. There was about a 20 to 25% drawdown. It only lasted 9 or 10 months. And then there was a rally until just after the election in 1968. And then the market topped out, and then had people always remember the 73, 74 bear market, but 68 to 70 was pretty severe. It was 36%, it was probably, I think that was the most severe bear market really going back to the 30s at the time, right? So, and then until it was surpassed by 73, 74. So, that's what I'm kind of looking at here. Now, this second phase of the bull market, probably the Magnificent Seven are going to lag. We'll probably won't see the huge gains. Again, we've seen the market, I think the S&P bottomed at like 3,600. It's back near the highs of 4,800. So that's a 33% gain in just over a year from its lows. It will probably be more like 10 to 20% more, maybe get the low 5,000s on the S&P if it does that. But I really think this is similar to 66. Or to 68, and that in 68 was election year. They cut rates. Nixon won, and then they did the same thing after the 70 bear market. They cut rates into 72, and Nixon won re-election. So I think that's the kind of what we're seeing here. We're going to see rate cuts in the election year. We've got almost 150 basis points priced in. I thought I was aggressive a few months ago, and I was like, I think we're going to get 75 to 100, but it's almost double what I thought just a few months ago. So, and like I said, if nothing really goes wrong, and it doesn't look like anything is, I don't see any real signs of a banking crisis. I'll put some shorts on. I'll put some hedges. I think you always have to do that, but I think we're getting close to that kind of, we're getting close to this kind of like these 70s bull markets where the market would go up for a few years and then down for a year or two. So, I was going to leave it on that. I'll put a chart of 66 to 68 below this, and then I'll put a chart of the S&P currently below this on the website. That's it. Okay, so I don't know what I'm going to do. Today's the 30th. I'll see how I feel when I wake up on the 31st. Do I want to do another video? Or am I going to do it on the morning of January the 1st? Somebody just doing some work over there. It's that noise. So I'll just figure that out. But definitely to make up for Friday, I will do something on one of those 2 days. And then we'll be back January 2nd to our regularly scheduled programming, as they say. So everybody take care. Hope you like my little talk about oceans and cooking. But like I said, I kind of wanted these videos over the holidays to be a little more laid back.